Today I am here with my first episode of International Travel Fears. People have a lot of fears when it comes to international travel, and I am here to address it all so that we can get everyone traveling the world. So, nothing is off limits. I want you guys to comment what your fears are in the comments so that it can be discussed on a later episode. So, in this episode, we will be discussing passport, currency, and luggage. So I wanted to dive right into passport. So we're going to talk about three things: prevention, tips, and then what do you do if it happens. So the first thing I want to discuss was making copies of your passport. I see so many people traveling, but they don't have a copy. I have a paper copy and I have an electronic copy. It's up to you if you would like to do both, but you do need some type of copy. I keep one on my phone and on my computer as well. This is going to be key for in the event, unfortunately, if your passport is stolen. Okay, let's talk about placement. I keep my passport in two areas. The least amount of places that you keep your passport, the easier your life is going to be. I promise you. My passport, if I hand it to someone at the hotel or the airport, once it goes back in my hand, it immediately goes back into an area in my purse. And I also may keep it in a safe if I choose to, but it's either in those two areas. It doesn't touch a bed. It doesn't go into a random area in my purse. It doesn't touch a nightstand. It doesn't go into someone else's hand to hold for me. Back in my purse or in a safe. And it's so easy because anytime I'm looking for my passport, I know exactly where it is. I've never lost my passport because I only keep it in those two places. So the likelihood of it going missing is very slim because I don't take any chances. That's the one thing I protect with my heart because I don't want to lose it because there can be so many issues. Okay. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into storage. You can keep your passport in your purse, that's totally fine, but you want to make sure you have a purse that's not something that someone can easily take. Mine is a crossbody and it also has a chain with it. That's not something that you can easily snatch. That's something that's very close to my body. They also have scarves that you can buy that have different compartments in them, and there's also for the men or women too, there's belts that you can buy where you can keep passport and your currency in a safe. So you want to keep it safe to where someone can't easily grab it, but you want to know where it is as well. So storage is also key to making sure you don't lose your passport. So I want to give you a couple of tips. Number one, and I know you hear people say this all the time, but it is imperative that you get travel insurance. If you have insurance, if something does happen, at least you can have that safety blanket knowing, okay, I'm going to be reimbursed or you receive some type of compensation in the event that it does happen, because it can get expensive for you. And we'll talk about that in a minute. You may want to file a police report. A police report may be necessary because some insurance companies may want to see that proof so that they can, reimburse you for any fees. I am so sorry, guys, but it's one of those things that can happen. I don't want to say it's par for the course, but unfortunately. So let's discuss the now what. You've lost your passport or it's been stolen. What do? You want to get to the embassy as soon as possible. They are going to be, they're the ones who have to get that replaced for you. So remember those copies you made? Yay! Now they come in handy because they're going to be the catalyst to help facilitate you getting your passport replaced sooner than later. So an emergency passport normally takes about 24 hours. Most cases I've seen, they're able to, if you have your copies and your documentation to prove that you're a citizen of that country, then it should be about 24 hours. But that also depends on how close the embassy is. There may not be an embassy in the same city as you. So during your research process, when you research your trip, you research where the closest embassy was, right? Yay! So hopefully it's close to you, you can get it replaced within 24 hours and then you're on your way. If not, it may be a couple of days. So that's why you need that travel insurance, because it can get expensive. What if you have to stay in the country a little bit longer? We're talking about an extended hotel. You may have to change your flights. Hopefully the airline can work with you, but that's not always a guarantee. But if you have travel insurance, at least you're able to recoup some of those fees. Not all of them, but some. Another thing is you will most likely need a new passport photo. So I keep photos on my computer and on my phone so that just in case anything happens, I have passport photos. I also have photos that I've used to take for my visa pictures. That way you have those pictures, and also you want some type of emergency fund because you will have to pay for the passport fees. And then the next thing you want to do is call your insurance company, because obviously you've lost your passport. You're going to have to work with them to get compensated eventually. So the second thing we're going to talk about today is currency. So this can be lost or stolen currency. People lose their wallets. So we're going to discuss that as well. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was keeping your currency separate. So oftentimes I see people keep all of their money in their wallet or everything in their purse. And for me, that's the biggest mistake, because if your wallet's stolen, then you're out of luck. I keep my money separated, and you should too. Because say that unfortunately you are robbed, then it's not a total loss. You have more money somewhere in your safe place that you kept it, and you're able to move on and still have some sort of vacation. The next method of prevention is not to be flashy or pull out all of your money. I say this because if someone is watching and they're looking for a potential victim, you don't want to be pulling out all of your currency. And we're talking about cash. So what I do is, before I go somewhere, say I know I'm going on a certain amount of tours that day, I have a figure in my head of about how much money I would spend. I keep that separate from the group of cash that I have, so that I'm only pulling out, a couple $100 or just enough to pay for that purchase. It's not everything that I have. People aren't seeing wads of cash like, hey, she got some money, because I don't, I'm broke. Another prevention tip for currency is I often see people when they're at a store or a restaurant, they take out their cell phone, they take out their wallet, they take out their bag, they put everything down on their counter. That's a sure way to have someone steal from you. You got your phone over here, your wallet over here, you're eating lunch and your phone's on the table, your wallet's on the table. They can grab your phone. You won't even know it until an hour later when you've left the restaurant and you want to make a call. I've seen it happen. I've seen someone with their wallet on the table in, I won't say the country, we'll get into that in a different video. The person came up and was selling them travel, and I'm sorry, not travel, they were selling them some type of insurance. And the person, you don't need insurance. You're visiting in the country, you're leaving, so you don't need any insurance that they were trying to offer you. So that would have been a red flag to me. But when they picked their papers up that they set on the table, they picked up the wallet with it. So cell phones, wallets, even though we're not talking about cell phones, this is really good. Don't put all your stuff on counters. If you need to grab something out of your wallet or your purse, put your phone in your storage area. Then grab your money out. Put your wallet back and then grab your phone out. Try to keep everything put away so that you don't have everything out, so that you're not an easy target. Another prevention tip to prevent having your cash stolen is to just be careful who you trust. This may seem so obvious, but people, you're out of town, you want to have a good time, you hang out with the wrong people, and then a couple hours later, they go to the bathroom and then they're gone, and your cash is gone with them. Or the next morning, they're gone, and your cash is gone. If it sounds too good to be true, it normally is. Just be really careful. I feel so bad because I've seen people, with their cash stolen, their wits end, they're begging. I don't want any of you to be in that situation. That's why I'm creating this video. Another prevention method is if you're in a crowd, hold on to your belongings. It's best to have your stuff stored near your body, so that if you're in a crowd, my hand immediately goes to my purse. I'm immediately holding it near me, because that's an easy way. It's a distraction for someone to steal, from you. So if you're in a crowd, if it's a lot of people, just be cautious. That's an easy way to prevent this from happening to you. It's never your fault, but we always want to do our part and what we can to prevent this from happening. Okay, so for my tips, I recommend, honestly, not having a lot of cash. I personally like to use my credit card when I travel. I carry some cash because I tip, and there are some things that just have to be paid in cash, but I don't carry a lot of it. That way, unfortunately, if something does happen, I'm okay, because I only have like 50 bucks anyway. I don't carry over a certain amount of cash. In the event that I need it, which very seldom has happened, I do have my card to go to the ATM if I need to, but I normally have a set amount, and when I come back, I normally have something left, because I do collect currency, so I normally have something left. So just minimize the cash theft by not taking a lot at all. Okay, so what do you do if you are robbed and your cash is stolen? You can always report it, but honestly, in most cases I've seen, very seldom are they able to recoup that cash. Another thing you can do, you always want to have a backup plan. So unfortunately, say it's a total loss, everything is gone. You need to have someone that you can count on, who knows you're traveling back home, that you can pick up the phone, you need a Western Union, you need some cash, and they can send it to you, because that has happened, and that is going to be, that's an option. That's something that you may have to do. I know people who had to pick up the phone and call and ask for cash, whether they had an arrangement or whether it was just a close relative, a mother, a husband, a brother, a sister, a cousin, a really good friend that you trust, somebody who can loan you something really quick, and then when you get back, you pay them back. I personally, if something were to happen, I have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I have every scenario that you could possibly think of. I have my credit card. My credit card has a backup credit card. I always have my debit card. I have people that know I'm traveling. I do have people that I can call in the event something happens. I always have insurance. I purchase my insurance for the year. So I try to, just mitigate these things from happening. Okay, so for our third topic, luggage, today we're going to cover loss and theft, because the airline can lose your luggage, and also your luggage can be stolen. So I'm going to do prevention and tips kind of all together, because it is a lot. So the first thing I wanted to mention was you can always get a smart luggage tag. They're really not that expensive. I've seen some for $25-$30, but they're able to detect lost luggage, so that's always an option. I don't have one, but it is something I'm looking into. Also, with your luggage tags, I would not get the paper tags. I would opt for something a little bit sturdy if you don't have like a smart luggage tag. And always be cautious of what you're writing on the outside of your tag, because that is on the outside of your luggage and can be seen by anyone. So I would just do name, email address, telephone number. I wouldn't do the address on the outside. Then on the inside, you have a piece of paper with all of your information, contact information on it, so that if something does happen, they can easily reach you, they know where you are, and they can send you your luggage immediately. Also, you want to take pictures of your luggage, so that if something does happen, you have that proof of, this is my bag. You can show it to the airline. Someone may know something. They can easily try to recover that luggage if they know what it looks like. It'll be a little bit, just make their job a little bit easier. Another prevention tip is to arrive at the airport early. I know we all are last minute. I am sometimes, but you have less likelihood of your luggage being lost by the airline if you get there early. The closer you get to departure, the more likely it is. Not saying that it would happen, but it's normally those who got there closer to, boarding the plane. Let's talk about theft a little bit. So you want to avoid colors like blacks or maybe the blues and the reds that everyone have. My luggage is pink. So those just aren't colors. When you look at the bags that are stolen, those just aren't colors that they're looking to steal. Even if you do, say, have one of those luggage that looks like everyone else's, put something on it to make yours stand out from everyone else's. If you want to do, I don't know, a ribbon, a scarf, something to identify yours and make it, not look like everyone else's. Because when you look at the bags that are stolen, it's normally those blacks or those blues that are the luggage that everyone has. When you get off the plane, I know this sounds like a no-brainer, go straight to baggage claim. Don't spend time, lollygagging around. Just go straight there, grab your luggage, and, get out of there. You're going on vacation or you're back home. Get your luggage and head to the next destination. Okay, so a few tips. You always want to keep your receipts, because if your luggage is stolen, the airline is going to need receipts for everything that you're trying to claim. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, they need receipts as proof of what was actually in the luggage. In your carry-on, you want to have an extra outfit. Pants, shirt, underwear, because if something does happen, say something is lost or something is stolen, at least you have a change of clothes to get in, and you can go ahead and freshen up while you're waiting to, get wherever you have to be. At least you have one pair of clothes until you can get more. You can always just carry a carry-on. If you're only a carry-on, you're not checking bags, you don't have to worry about anything being lost, anything being stolen. If I'm domestic, I'm normally doing a carry-on. I do check-in international, but that's a sure way to not have to worry about it at all. Do not travel with items that you don't have receipts for, that are something that's been in the family for, generations, something that's not easily replaced, because those are going to be items that, say if your luggage is lost or stolen and they can't find it or you can't get it back, those are items that are going to be hard for them to reimburse because they have no proof of it. So if it's something that came from your mother's, your grandmother's mother's mother, that's something that you don't even want to check in and travel with. I wouldn't even take that risk. If you can't carry it on, I would just leave it at home, because those are things that are sentimental to us, and I would hate for someone not to be able to get something like that back or not be reimbursed for that. So your luggage is stolen or lost, now what? So obviously you want to contact customer service and make sure that maybe your bag wasn't stored somewhere else. Second, you want to get on the phone with the airline immediately and go ahead and get your claim filed and get that process started to get your luggage back. You may need to file a police report, because if you're going to file insurance, they may need to see that. Then you're going to want to call your insurance company. Let them know. Most insurance companies, travel insurance, is going to have a reimbursement for lost or stolen luggage, whether it be $100, $500, $1,000. You know, they're going to reimburse you for that. So you want to get on the phone with them to go ahead and get that claim process started so that, you know, you can go ahead and get reimbursed for that sooner than later. Okay, guys, so this has been episode 1 of International Travel Fears. So I'm so excited we made it through. So I hope that you're sticking with me through this. It will get better. I'll do like a cute background eventually. And next week, we're going to discuss diarrhea, getting lost, and language barriers. So stick with me and hang in there. We're going to discuss these fears so we can get those out of the way and get you traveling. If you have any fears, please list them in the comments so that we can get those discussed in a later episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.